What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer / seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Hi.
What are you working on over there?
Someone gave me a topic suggestion, and I want to make sure I can shout that kid out.
So you're over on kindafunny.com/forums.
Yeah, we did the AMAs last Friday.
Yeah.
Not the American Music Awards. We did Ask Me Anything on our forums, and it went really well. I'm glad. Yeah, how long did you guys end up staying? Because I was there for like way longer than I probably should have. People asked me some really good questions.
That was like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I answered all my questions. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I answered them all.
Anyway, someone...
Well, don't spoil it if it's your topic. I was just wondering what you're up to. Explain to the audience why you're on your computer over there.
This is quite the walk we're taking.
crunching
I love
numbers
Nick
over
so
there.
much. Like, Nick is undeniably my favorite human being of all time.
I've
'Cause I
noticed.
love that no matter what happens, he just breaks. Like, somewhere along the line, it's like, what are you doing? And it's almost as if he's trying to figure out a funny answer, but then he gives up on that, and then he doesn't remember what he's doing.
That's the pure one, Tim Gettys.
Hello.
And this is the Pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's Sunday. We're recording on a new day,
A new day.
the Lord's Day.
Oh, my God.
Because we're going to Rooster Teeth this week. Or by the
Yes.
time this posted, we were in Rooster Teeth all week. Inside of Rooster Teeth.
Rooster Teeth.
Yeah. So we're doing here. So we have a new show. And Nick is trolling through his AMA trying to find this desperately.
I found him.
Did you?
Found it, yeah.
You nailed it? All right. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Game Over Greggy show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bringing a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can toss us a few bucks and get each and every episode early, along with exclusive episodes and exclusive perks. If you have no money to toss our way, it's no big deal. Head over to youtube.com/kindafunny, where we post the entire show, topic by topic, day by day, until the entire thing is free the following Friday. Colin,
Yes.
why don't you kick us off today?
I want to talk about Fuller House, but specifically about not so much the show itself, although we can talk about the show itself if we'd like, but more about these kind of old school things coming back. Not really old school, but things from our childhood coming back.
pretty old school.
And if we really need it. And this was the question I was asking myself when I was watching Fuller House, because I only made it through 2 episodes where I'm like, this is just fucking terrible.
So it's just the show. It's more of the
Yeah,
show.
Thank
exactly.
you.
Like,
That's what
That's
I
all
was
it is.
saying when we were talking about this at dinner or whatever. I watched 3 episodes. I watched the first 2, and I was like, this is bad. I had in the background, I was playing Vita, and then I jumped to the Hunter Pence episode. I was like, all right, cool. I've done my due diligence or whatever, and I've seen Hunter, our boy, so I
boy.
can move on. And I was like,
I've seen
this is bad, but Full House was always bad.
Yeah, but of course that doesn't matter because the context is different. We were kids when we saw these, and so we have different memories and different ideas of what Full House really was. And
Also, it was kind of a kid's show back then, right? Like,
Sure.
it wasn't supposed to be a Netflix exclusive kind of rated R program. Not that this one is, but...
That's not what Netflix has to be.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, it's
I know,
like
it's not
back
House
in
of
the day,
Cards.
it was supposed to be programming for like family programming, evening around 7 o'clock. You know, TGI Friday, all that shit. So bringing it back now, it's just a totally different era. Like, we don't even.
yeah, and this is what I'm wondering because this isn't kind of exclusive to Full House and Fuller House. I mean, the X-Files. Not that I was an X-Files fan, but the X-Files came back and apparently is atrocious. We're gonna get Twin Peaks back, and that was like really tortured and stuff like that. And Baywatch is coming back, and all this. Like, so I'm wondering, like, first of all, if you guys saw it and what you thought of it, because I was reading a review before I even watched the first episode, and they were saying that like the first episode is kind of the season finale we never got. As people know, like Full House was canceled, so like we never got the finale, the like a real proper series finale. The last episode I think was when Michelle got like thrown off her horse and like had like amnesia and shit like that. You guys remember that episode?
Oh, there's always an amnesia episode.
Yeah. So like, and I think it kind of just ended suddenly, and so this was like a nice way for them
She
to
never
like,
got her memory back.
this is a nice way for them to like kind of bring it all full circle and like just see what all the characters are doing. It's interesting. I mean, the Brady Bunch did this and stuff. Lucy
Sure.
did this. It's not that unusual. Brady Bunch did it multiple times.
They're
So
little made for
so
TV
they did
movie
what?
things.
they like did like made for TV like reunion specials over the years.
And then
that,
the amazing 90s movie.
And that's the feel.
well, that's different. That was a parody. I'm saying
That
like,
was amazing.
both of those movies are great. But they really did come back like and do like
Full House episode 1, Fuller House episode 1 is all it should have been. You know what I mean? If they would have just done that, because it was all the people you cared about, right? And like, okay, Joey works in Vegas, and this is happening, and Danny and the Rebecca are moving down to LA to host that show, and da da da. And they like did. I thought they did some cool shit where it was like at the end when they're singing to the baby, and they like side by side the original show and what they're doing, they're like shot for shot. I was like, all right, that's a cool little move. You know what I mean? As somebody who like never was a Full House fan, I still like that idea of what they're doing and how it is. But that was the whole thing. Is then once that's done, in episode 2 rolled on, and it was Gibbler and her daughter and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, jeez, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about any of these people.
Yeah, I was surprised by the return of the twins.
And I do respect that they were just like, these guys were babies back in the day, and we just brought them in, and like we'll sit them backs to the camera because they can't act.
Right.
They're awful actors. And
Yeah,
we'll make their characters totally stupid.
Yeah.
Return of the Twins makes it sound way more epic than I'm assuming it was.
Well, yeah, like Jesse's kids. What do they call it? Nikki and Alex. Like we're little kids, like.
Oh, I thought you meant the Olsen twins. I was
No,
like,
no,
fuck,
no.
I thought they weren't in this.
No,
No, they make a lot of jokes at their expense, which I
yeah,
like.
they do like.
They're
make
like,
fun of-
hey,
they do make
remember
fun
when
of
that cute baby killed Heath Ledger?
No,
Is that
whoa.
what they
They
say?
don't make that
Jokes like
joke.
that? Oh, okay.
No.
Serious.
It was that they were too busy. They couldn't come back for the going away party because they, are busy in New York running their fashion line. And then they all, I guess. And then they all look at the camera and like hold it, and the audience goes crazy and stuff. Like they all break the fourth wall for it.
Do you think? I was gonna say Haley Joel Osment. That he's not one of them.
What's he have to say about this?
I just
am curious what
watched
he
the
thinks,
Entourage movie, and he's in it. He's awesome in it. So
Does he play himself?
No, he plays one of basically the lead antagonist.
Okay.
It's actually, if you like Entourage, by the way, sorry to go off on a tangent, you should definitely watch it. I really liked the Entourage movie.
Well, this kind of ties in.
Yeah.
It's
in a way.
very much like where with Entourage, it's one of those things where at least it's not that far removed. I don't think where like Entourage ended maybe 5-6 years ago. Is that right, Kevin?
I would say 5 because I remember watching the finale. I think in my old
Can
apartment
you check
before I
out when
moved in here.
the finale of Entourage was, or just keep looking at the chive, whatever you want to do, or yourself and your fucking camera, whatever you're doing over there with your 1970s coke head haircut.
I'm doing what you asked. Why? Why, Nick?
Because he gives me this look like I'm putting him out sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Kevin, can you look that up? Because everyone gives me shit when I look stuff up on my phone. And he's like,
Okay.
why would I look anything up
All
for
right,
you?
come on, buddy.
Well,
We had a
have
good
chat.
night with our friends last night. Let's
We did have a good
not
night.
go to a dark place now.
Where, like, Entourage, again, I saw that they were making a movie. I'm like, they don't need to make a movie. Entourage movie. They don't need to do this. This is pure fan service. And that's what Fuller House is, right? Like, there's a lot of fans out there that just wanted to see them get back together. What I don't...
I'm not sure there was. I think it's one of
I'm
those
sorry.
things. There's a lot of people that
That would
kind of
watch
liked
it.
it, and
Sure.
were like, "Oh, this is a cool idea for a trailer that I never need to see the full show for."
Right.
And
So-
then here's the show.
But, like, when they bring things back,
Arrested Development.
well, yeah, that just didn't work
I'm
either.
just not, yeah, exactly.
These shows that are so typically a sign of the times, right? Where it's just you got to kind of come at it from a different angle, and that's why, like, when you talked about the Brady Bunch movie, that was a perfect example of how you take a series that people have that's good, has good brand recognition in the market, and kind of turn it on its side and go, we're gonna have some fun with this. Same way with 21 Jump Street, right? Where it was just making fun of the concept that these fucking kids, these guys, these adult males do not look anything like children. And if they went to high school, they would just stick out like a sore thumb. But you actually make a good movie. Both of those were actually relatively entertaining movies. Whereas Fuller House is literally just a continuation of the series.
Yeah.
Where I think there's maybe only one series that has done it well. And it was sort of Seinfeld with the continuation of the Seinfeld on Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? But again, that's taking it and kind of still turning it on its side of like saying like, we're going to pull the curtains back. We're going to show you behind the scenes of this whole thing being made.
See, I think like Girl Meets World is not for us. I think it's for kids nowadays, but I think they did a good job of doing the same thing, but for the right audience.
Yeah.
You know, the audience wasn't us, whereas Full House just continued. that
Maybe it's not
Girl
though.
Meets
Maybe
World,
people
I
are
mean,
really
they-
liking it. Like kids like it probably.
No,
I
but
don't know.
the thing about
Kids
Full
aren't
House was
watching
kind
Full House.
but the Netflix whole thing, like I don't think kids are like on that watching Full House. Like, please, like let me watch Full House.
Well,
Mom.
I
just wanna
Whereas
binge
being
watch
on the
it,
Disney
Mom.
Channel, it's telling them
Don't take me to
watch this,
T-ball.
Yeah,
you know?
it begs the question of like, can a situational comedy like that produced by Netflix really have that market penetration, right? Because that's not typically like what people go to Netflix for.
But
Yeah.
I think Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt did, right? Like
Sure,
that did
sure,
well. That
sure,
got
sure.
that won Emmys and
Chelsea
whatever.
Handler's
had-
show's doing well
Is it?
apparently.
Okay,
I
okay.
guess. So I guess yeah.
Aziz, his show.
His show,
Masters of None,
that's
right?
pretty funny.
That was
show,
I
by the way.
loved that show.
But
But
see,
but
those
I
are
understand what you're
shows
saying.
that-
It's not being talked about on the level of. I was gonna say Seinfeld, but that was a different time and place, I guess.
Well-
A Big Bang Theory now, right?
Yeah.
Colin's favorite.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Oh god, that show.
Show
But
sucks.
that's
So I'd
what-
be unequivocal about that.
But like all those shows you just named are shows that use the medium for all of its virtues, right? Like Aziz's show can go a little raunchier, can go a little crazier. Like they don't have to be 30 minutes and they're done. They have some more flexibility in the storytelling. Whereas I feel like Fuller House was just literally an idea that two people thought was really funny over lunch and just fucking materialized.
I mean,
somehow.
it's one of those. Yeah, I don't think the show's good, but again, I don't think Full House was good.
No.
And so I like, but I mean, like that first episode with John Stamos and shit, where he's like talking about how good they all look and this, that, and the other. I was like, this is fun. This is what I remember. This shit. It was fun to see the catchphrases and them all be. I forgot the Elvis shit with John Stamos. Like, all right, that was a thing he did all the time.
How could you forget that?
Because I blocked out a lot of Full House memories.
Yeah, I did like, there were parts where I was like in the first episode where I was kind of laughing aloud to myself, like, oh, this is funny. Like it was kind of funny seeing Danny Tanner kind of like frumpy and fucking, like that. Bob Saget just doesn't give a shit. It's like,
well, that was the funny thing.
It's kind of awesome. Like
Bob Saget go back to that, right? Because I remember growing up and you thought Bob Saget was like, oh, this totally like fucking weird normal dude, and then it turns out he's like this raunchy ass comedian, and then now that's who we know, right? I'm like, did you ever suck dick for weed or whatever?
Oh, yeah. I suck dick for coke. It's especially hilarious because he's in Entourage again. He makes makes a cameo in Entourage in the movie, and there's his seat is again another reminder of like, wow, he could not be far. Well, I guess it's him playing a character. Like, it's not really him, but he goes there. He's talking to these two young girls, and they're like, he's like, wait a minute, and they're like flirting. I'm like, you were on that show. Like, you were so cute. We always thought you were sexy. He's like, wait a minute, didn't you guys go to school with my daughter? And they're like, yeah. And he walks over to Vince. He's like, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to fuck my daughter's friends so I don't have to. And it's completely ridiculous. But the idea of them all coming back for this, it is one of those, yeah, it's fascinating. You got to see, it's like a train wreck. You know it's going to be a train wreck. You got to watch it and see how bad the massacre is. But I'm a little disappointed that we're not spending more time, and the general public is not spending more time talking about the unauthorized behind-the-scenes biography of Full House that kind of came and went.
That was big.
With werewolf
Jesse Katsopoulos.
Yeah, Jesse Katsopoulos from Transylvania.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in the idea of what they were trying to do, and I think it's funny and nostalgic. But I guess what I'm wondering is with like this kind of happening now, like, do we really need to kind of go back? Like, should we be careful what we ask for actually in some respects? Because we were talking about the Brady Bunch movies in the 90s, and in a way, like those movies, which were using a whole different cast, were cop-outs, because when you do satire, we'd be like, it's not real, it's just satire. Like you're not like trying to be in the main, like you're making fun of it. And that's what made those movies so fucking brilliant. I stand by the fact that the Brady Bunch movie and a Very Brady sequel are fucking really good.
I love them. They're so much.
Because like the way they like they just like the neighbors just fucking hate them, and like it's so funny.
Mike Brady only builds the house every time he turns into design.
The tension between fucking Marsha and Greg, it's awesome.
Yeah,
fucking awesome.
Oh god,
yeah, it's amazing. And like the just little stupid things like the carjacking scene and stuff like that, where the guy's like, it's a carjacking. Greg's like, this is a car, but I'm not Jack. I'm Greg, and this is my sister Marsha. I'm like, this is so stupid. This is so fucking stupid. I remember seeing this in the theater and being like, this is, it's brilliant. Yeah, it is.
I think it's up there with Clueless and shit.
Yeah.
And just like 90s movies, like awesomeness.
But when you try to make
so
doing
good.
Full House in a way that would make fun of it would have been easier, and they try to do that. I think they're a little self-deprecating, but I agree with you that it's hard to capture like that Miller Boyette vibe, that Step by Step or that Perfect Strangers kind of like,
it's just
really
gone.
corny ass vibe. And they try to make fun of it as much as they can, but it's caught in a bit of a conundrum, and I wonder if they'll do more. Like, I wonder if this is it, or if this was the intention to just be it, or if they're going to.
I bet they hope for more, but I think this will be
I have a feeling this is it.
Yeah.
Well, if it does well and it's not that expensive to do, like a lot of the costs are sunk now, right? Like they made the set, and it's like all this.
Most
So
of
it's
the
like,
costs, I would imagine, are just in talent fees.
yeah, but how much are
honestly.
these people really getting paid?
Well,
Like,
John Stamos probably gets paid a lot. He's
Stamos
got a
and maybe
good-
Bob
he's got a good
Saget,
career.
but yeah, Stamos is a capable actor, and this was his idea apparently. So like, but like the other, like I can't imagine they're paying Lori Loughlin that much money to come back and
Yeah, I don't know. She does a lot of Hallmark stuff. A lot of Hallmark stuff. Don't ask why I know that.
I
'Cause
know
watch a lot of Hallmark
I know
channel.
why you know that. So does Candace Cameron Bure,
She does.
who's gorgeous. By the
Yeah,
way.
she grew up well. She's good looking. She's not bad looking.
And then Stephanie just don't know what to say about
Wait,
that.
so I haven't watched the show yet. How come every time I see a picture of her from the show, she's in some sort of evening wear?
I don't know.
Is that a thing?
They're not,
playing
sticks
to the
in the
strengths,
mud.
I guess.
They go out.
But it's like
But it's
Sunday
like,
day.
I have a picture. But I need to show you guys, and I want your reaction. To
I
it.
know. I already know the photo. It's the one photo Stephanie everybody shows around that she makes fun of in the show. Not
Does
the
she?
photo, but like how her dress and like my eyes are up here kind of thing. No, I
mean,
saw
it's
the
just
episode.
Ridiculous.
Now,
But-
where do you think she's going dressed like that?
I don't know. Doesn't she work at a dog?
No,
No,
she's a
dog-
DJ.
I saw one episode, and it was in. I don't know which one it is. Like it's somewhere in the middle. I walked in my roommate watching it, and it's like one of the little boys. I don't know whose boy it was getting a dog,
Yeah.
and then she pretended that it was her son so that she can go on some date with someone.
Sure.
And everyone just went along with the lie, and then the episode ended. And I'm like, what?
That's how it goes.
Like, there's no resolution to this. Like,
So she's in that red dress, revealing number, of course.
Yeah.
Dressed to the nines to go downstairs. They're having a house party.
so
She's
it's
a
a joke.
There was a funny.
I don't think it's a joke. I just think that
She's supposed to be a
Oh.
DJ, but like I actually thought it was funny that her name is DJ Tanner. Like that's her DJ name, and it bothers DJ that her name is DJ Tanner.
Is her name
There's already
DJ Tanner?
Well, her name.
Well, no, her name's Stephanie.
No, her name's Stephanie. So it's DJ. Her name, but her DJ name is DJ Tanner, which is her sister. I
Oh,
thought
that's
that was.
really
I
funny.
thought that was like really actually
Oh, right.
super funny because she was like DJ.
I
Stephanie
laughed
was
out
like-
loud twice during the episode I watched.
Okay.
So they did something, and they were not great. They were Tim jokes. They were stupid pun jokes.
Sure.
But they got me twice.
I'm telling you, like the first episode is good, like in terms of like what you want or whatever, as a return to Full House. But it should have just been that they didn't do how many 12 episodes. I don't know how many episodes they did. They should have just done a hour-and-a-half movie or whatever for Netflix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see,
IMO.
that's what I'm saying.
Guy
Like,
who creates no movies or puts anything.
Sure.
In this.
but I mean, it's a valid opinion because you brought up X-Files earlier, and the X-Files obviously had a couple movies. I don't remember either of them being particularly like great, but if you would have asked me, well, you did. I think we actually talked about this when the announcement came that like they're going to do another X-Files. I was like, that sounds great. I really want to see that. And 20 minutes into the first episode, I was like, this was a mistake. This is not good. This is not. This is just not the show. This is not the era. This is not these two characters, these two actors who have gone on to do great work afterward are just in a different place in their life. Like Gillian Anderson and
David Duchovny.
David Duchovny. That was a career making role for both of those people.
Yeah.
Like they were on. That was one of the most popular shows on television at the time, and they did like what 7 or 8 seasons of it.
A lot.
There was at some point I know the Terminator was in it, like Terminator 2, because like Gillian Anderson left for like a season, and what's his name, Robert Patrick came in and was like,
Oh,
agent.
right.
Yeah. So there was all sorts of different things.
For a
happening.
second, I thought you were telling me there was a Terminator 2 crossover with the
That'd be
X-Files. I was
amazing.
like, I missed that episode.
No, so I mean that show was awesome for them, but just watching it, it just doesn't. And maybe it's just me. Maybe everyone else that watched it was like, oh, it did capture the magic, but it just doesn't have the same pizzazz, the same like mystery or really just energy that the old show had. Right? There was just so much where you're like, and maybe it's just because the world's different now. Like that was pre-Twitter, that was pre-internet, really. So you didn't really know that half that stuff was, it was all bullshit, but like you couldn't talk to other people and share those ideas with people. And now it's like,
Right.
how many fucking alien stories have you seen on a television show? Like zombie stories, alien stories, all these things. Like nothing they could do is really that new anymore.
I understand what you mean.
So I don't know. It's
Something should stay dead is what I think it means. And it sucks that they end like on an amnesia, I fell off a horse story, but like I don't know if we were clamoring for another Full House season, you know what I mean, to wrap it all up.
Yeah, obviously, and I don't want to compare the two, but fucking I'm gonna. If you're gonna compare X-Files to Full House, there's just no comparison, right? X-Files was infinitely more important, I think, in the grand scheme of television than Full House. Full House was one of those like, am I crazy? Was it TGIF? No.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was the 8:00 slot.
It was like
The anchor.
I love that you remember that. It was the 8:00 slot.
8:00, and then the golden era was 8:00 Full House. 8:30 was Family Matters. 9:00 was Step by Step, and then 9:30 was like the roving like show that got canceled every year.
Yeah.
That like never could stick for
It
some
was
reason.
the
Urkel
lead
spinoff show
into
or whatever it was.
2020. Just couldn't
Yeah,
keep
and
it.
then Hugh Downs and Barbara Walters would come on with 2020.
See, it was a simpler time back then.
Hugh Downs was 180 years old even in 1991 when I was watching those
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But I reserve the right to completely change my opinion after I watch the show because I'm sure I'm gonna fucking love it.
It's
'Cause I'm a nostalgia
something,
nut.
man.
It
really
is. It's definitely that nostalgic, like, you know what I mean, like bad green screens and like, cause like the Hunter Pence episode when he's on green, like and he's supposed to be in the dugout. You're like, oh. But I mean, that's part of the thing. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like I think they know what they're playing with.
They nailed it. I honestly think that. Like, I don't think that they thought it was going to be any better than it is. Like, when I watched the episode, I was like, they know how bad these jokes are.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For sure. But they didn't go quite to the parody level. But it is what it is. I'm like, all right, cool.
Let's see, do we want to see that for 12 episodes or 10
That's the
episodes?
thing.
No, but
It
I mean,
would-
people did then. I would have asked that question back then too.
Well, we didn't have a choice back then. Back then, there was one thing on that was worth watching.
Whatever
and it
came
was-
across the broadcast
Yeah,
waves
I
on
don't
our
know.
rabbit ears, we accepted while we ate our
It
pizza.
was. It was either that or I pop in fucking Return of the Jedi again and watch it for the umpteenth time.
Get the
like
tracking,
VCR.
adjust the tracking
It's
on
like,
it.
oh man, gotta rewind it.
Yeah.
I really want to spend that 3 minutes rewinding this. So yeah, I don't know, man. That's it's crazy.
Some things should stay dead.
I think so.
Yeah, I think my takeaway is that as we live in this era of like revitalizing old things, that sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. So it's cool that like nothing's sacred, but at the same time, it's scary that nothing's sacred. And so I think you have to just kind of take it like step by step, like no pun intended, because step by step should come back.
I just wanted to make sure that you and I never remain perfect strangers. We should just
Perfect Stranger should come back. That would be fucking rad.
You know,
with the same cast.
they're thinking about it. You know they're
Bronson
working on
Pinch,
it.
I was like, yes.
Here it comes, my
finally.
time.
But it's, for shows that like, it's just disappointing because there are shows that go like that don't come back that I want to come back, and then shows that come back and I'm like, why are you doing this? But I don't know. It's interesting that we live in such a nostalgic time. Like everyone's such a sucker for nostalgia now because everything's so available for people to watch. And I think that this show probably will do very well, and they don't care how bad it is.
Maybe.
Everyone that I saw this weekend,
Was watching
there was
it.
a conversation about it.
Yeah, my
So-
wife and I were going to watch it. She was like, "Oh, we should really watch that." And I'm like, "Eh." And then like Furious 7 was on. Oh no,
Good.
San Andreas was on. And I was like,
Oh
"No,
man,
we're
How's
gonna
that-
I
watch
have
that
not
come
seen
out?
it yet.
San Andreas."
Yeah.
We watched about 20 minutes of it, and I was like, "This is just exactly what you'd think."
And you only watched 20 minutes?
It's not very compelling, unfortunately. And we came
They're
in
making
like,
a San Andreas too.
Of course.
Which
Of course they are.
I just love that. Like, what's that even mean?
the aftershock.
We always knew it would come back.
Oh my god, please! I hope it's subtitled Aftershock.
Yeah, it was something. Greg and I had an interesting conversation last night, though. I don't know if you remember this or not, because
We had a lot of conversations.
you were about 50 beers in.
You're all right. I was wasted. I was
But I
streaking.
brought up the point that I'm like, the same point you brought up. We agreed on this one, which was that Full House was never particularly great.
Right.
You okay? You okay over there with the Post-its? You need those Post-its right now? You've been clawing at that thing like a fucking cat. Try to get in there. But my question to you is this. Your memory of Full House is obviously better, right? You said, what the fuck?
Sorry.
What is the problem?
Tim and Kevin
Keep
are playing a
keep
game.
going.
Your memory of it obviously relies heavily on nostalgia. But, so we can all kind of agree that Full House wasn't necessarily a great show to begin with. My question to you is, was Saved by the Bell a good show? Or is that heavily influenced by nostalgia as
I
well?
say Save
None
the
of
Bell.
those shows were good shows. None
See,
of
that
them.
was my point, too.
Absolutely.
But they're
Greg got
good
angry
for what
with
they. I'm getting angry now again. It wasn't good, and like I'm saying, it's fucking. It was like watching Twin Peaks or something. You know what I mean? But I think Saved by the Bell was a better show than
it was a
Full
cut
House.
above?
Yeah.
No way. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, there is.
Now I love Saved by the Bell.
Shenanigans.
I love that show. I think that show is just absolutely awesome. Well, the original one, obviously, and the college years were
bad.
fine with the guy from the Raiders.
Yeah. Totally weird.
It was
I'm
totally
gonna be a
mis-
crossover. Like, who are you?
It was
never
totally weird.
seen
And
again.
then like California Dreams, or what was that show? Remember that show, California
Vaguely,
Dreams?
I don't remember what it was though.
The fuck was that show called?
Beverly Hills 90210.
No,
No?
that's no. There was
Different
there was a Saved by the Bell like show that was on after Saved by the Bell, then called California Dreams or California Dreamin' or something like
Yeah.
that. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do remember that. I don't remember the name of it.
And it was like a fucking bootleg Saved by the Bell. Anyway, like
City guys.
these shows were not good. Saved by the Bell is fucking terrible. Now the best Saved by the Bell season is the Good Morning Miss Bliss season.
Oh, that's
when the show
bullshit.
when the show is in Indianapolis and they're in middle school. That actually is like the most real television if you go back and watch that. Like that's actually like a real show.
I don't
Then
even
then
remember that.
Saved by
What
the
is
Bell
that?
starts as
It's
Good
what-
Morning Miss Bliss, which was a Disney show about Zach and like
His friend Max and the girl.
Oh,
and the jean jacket she always
yeah,
wore.
Screech is in it and
But
and-
Kelly's
no,
but
Kelly's not in
AC
it,
Slater's
Jesse's
is
not in it,
right?
Slater's not in it.
Yeah.
I think
That
it's
makes
just
so much
oh, and
sense.
Lisa's in it.
Lisa's turtle, yeah.
So it's Lisa, Screech, and Zach in a high school in or a middle school in Indianapolis, and it's all about Haley Mills. She's like the main character, and like they'd go like she was their teacher, and they'd go to her house like and get like life lessons like when they were having a problem or whatever. And then they realized that the show was about Zach. It wasn't
Belding
about,
was in it too.
Belding's in it, but the show wasn't about
That makes so much sense.
her. It was about Zach, and so they recalibrated. They moved him to California.
They ripped all of that
Because
Indianapolis.
I
and
used to
put it out
watch
there.
reruns of the show. I never really watched Saved by the Bell like chronologically. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta watch this fucking show every week. I just kind of, you just caught it when it was on, right? And so I remember seeing reruns later in life and being like, who is this fucking kid? who is this kid? He's not in any other episodes.
Yeah, it's like they have like I could see them in my
There's like a,
face.
there's like a
Max, there's
isn't there a-
Max.
Max is like almost like an AC Slater like character in a
Yeah.
way. And then they have like the girl,
girl.
who's like kind of like a Jessie, I guess.
brunette also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
But she was kind of like she was a mix of like Jesse and
Kelly. Yeah.
Well, they were so young too. I think
Yeah.
they want to try and establish that as well.
God, that makes sense. The last unsolved mystery.
Yeah, so
Thanks,
like
everyone.
So like but what I'm saying is that it's funny that like they identify what was good about the show, which wasn't probably good about the show, but what was popular about the show.
Sure.
And then we got Saved by the Bell, which was awesome. I love Saved by the Bell. I think that show, I know every episode of that show just like I know every episode of Seinfeld. It's really no different except for Seinfeld's extraordinarily good and Saved by the Bell sucks. But that was like a formative part of my childhood. So I think that
There's no arguing with that statement. That is 100% true what he just said.
so it's just one of those situations where, you know, I wonder, there are good things from that era. I think sometimes we look at like that 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91 era and be like, everything sucks. I'm like, no, there's actually really super good stuff from here.
There is.
But it's just that we weren't watching it. That's
'Cause we were
that's
kids.
the difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Cheers was on then. you know?
Cheers, probably wasn't 30 something there.
Yeah,
like,
30
30
something.
something.
That. Yeah.
And
There's a
then,
lot of
30
great
something's a
television
little
happening.
later, I think. 30 something was like 92, 93, 94,
Yeah.
I think. That's a great show. That's
There's
a
a
show
lot-
a lot of people don't know about. That's like a show that came in and kind of went, but that was a form. That was
Poindexter from Revenge of the Nerds is in it.
He was.
That was my anchor to 30-something as a kid who didn't want to watch a show about 30-something. But I'm like, I know that guy from Revenge of the Nerds.
The entire reason I watched ER was because Goose was in it from Top Gun.
No.
I was
Okay.
like, that Goose is in this? He survived? I wanted so desperately for him to survive that scene. He didn't though.
No.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
His neck is fucking gone. Just broken.
It's like a slinky.
30 something was on Netflix
Like
for
when
a
he drives in
while.
a car, it just goes like this.
Is it still on there? I saw it. It was on there a long time ago and I watched it.
Was
Like
it
the
good?
first couple episodes, I'm like, oh no, this is not as good as I remember. So even that, like I watched almost all of 90210, and I wonder if that was because I have older sisters.
Yeah.
So I watched
I
like
don't, I
90210, Party of Five, and like Melrose Place, like because of my older
Oh, Melrose
sisters.
Place, yeah.
There's two shows in the history of my TV viewing that I am a little ashamed to say that I've watched a lot of. Beverly Hills 90210, and I don't have a sister. It was just me. I was like, oh, this show's on, and I sat down and watched it. I'm like, why do I like this so much? Why do I connect with
These teens,
all these
man.
characters so much? There was that, and then there was the OC, which no reason why I
That
watched
doesn't
that
even
show.
make sense. How old were you?
I was
He was old. I was in
25?
The OC was like
I was in
my
college.
age group girls.
I probably graduated college at that point, or close to graduating college. Yeah,
No, you must have.
I had
I was in
graduated
high
college.
school.
I was it was like the year or so after I graduated. I was living with my buddy Ryan, who you've met. I think.
Yeah.
He used to work at IGN, and I think his girlfriend would come over and was like, "Hey, I want to watch this show." And it was one of those things where it starts where you're like, "Fine, whatever. Like, it's a new relationship. Everyone's on their best behavior. We'll let her watch the show." And then about maybe two episodes in,
You're
she'd be
just
like,
hooked.
"So," and I was like, "I mean, I'm cool with it
Yeah.
if you guys are cool with watching the OC." It's legitimately a pretty good show.
It was
gonna
one of
throw that
those
up against
soap
the wall.
operas. You know what I mean? It was
they
a
get
nighttime
you.
soap opera, just like Nashville or whatever. It was the same way. In college, that was the same thing. We had a group. I wasn't part of it, but there was a group in the Antlers that were like super obsessed with the OC and like didn't miss it and had like viewing parties or whatever.
There was the OC kids and there was the One Tree Hill kids. There's a right and a wrong.
Never watched One Tree Hill.
One Tree Hill is fucking awesome.
Never watched it.
Fucking awesome.
Not saying it's good or bad.
I'm gonna tell
Never
you
seen it.
I haven't talked about this very often. I must have mentioned it at some point, but I'm gonna tell you. But I'm going to tell you my guilty pleasure
What is
show.
it?
It's got to be Seventh Heaven, which
Oh.
I saw every single
Seventh
solitary
Heaven.
episode of Seventh Heaven. I shit you not, every single one of them.
Oh my god.
From beginning
That's
to end.
so
Seventh
funny
Heaven.
to me.
So-
Loved it.
Seventh
Loved
Heaven.
You know why that show? I've never seen a single solitary episode of that show.
It was
it-
quicksand.
it's
I
still-
remember wading into it and fell on it too. Where I was
my
like, "This is a
God.
good show."
It holds a special place in my heart because the mom was in Star Trek 4. She was the one who was like the marine biologist who was like helping the whale, like taking care of the whales. And I had a huge crush on her back in the day. And I was so pissed that Captain Kirk got to make out with her. Just wasn't
That show was.
cool.
Oh man, I don't know how to explain what
That-
I loved it. I fucking loved Seventh
That's
Heaven.
I would have
for years.
never ever paid
Really?
you for
Yeah.
a Seventh Heaven guy. That's so funny.
Wasn't the dad like a pastor on that or a reverend or
Yeah,
something
he's
like
like
that?
a pastor, and like it's about his family, and I think they live in California. And Jessica Biel's in it, and that like
Jessica.
and that
was the thing is like,
and the other guy that also tried to become famous.
yeah,
like
it
she
didn't
did,
work
but
out. He was in that terrible horror movie, and that was the end of his career. But no, Jessica Biel. Remember that was like, you know, we're young teenage boys watching Seventh Heaven, and you're like, you have such a I had such a crush on Jessica Biel,
still
and
have
then
a
she
crush
did
on
that
Jessica
like that magazine shoot she did. Where she was like for the first time in her underwear, and like you could see her nipple in this one, and everybody like lost their fucking mind because like all your teenage dreams just came true.
Yeah.
That this girl who's like the girl next door on the show or whatever then goes out and does this like super sexy shoot, and it was, like
And then she becomes like I don't know if I'm misremembering or it's not true. I think that like there was some problem with the way she was portraying herself as an actress, and then like her like how she fit on the show, and then she left the show, but then she came back and she was like troubled, right?
Yeah,
and
something
then
like that. Well, she got in trouble in trouble with the show for the magazine show.
right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
well,
and,
I'm just connecting that.
yeah, and then she was gone for a while. By the end of the series, it was like there was like no one left. You know,
Yeah,
like,
didn't the dad in real life get in trouble for
Yes.
some bad stuff?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was
Seventh
child
Heaven
pornography.
dad
What did he do?
Stephen
It was
Collins
child
admits
pornography.
to sexually
Jesus.
abusing 3 girls.
Oh, right. Found molestation's even worse.
Speaking out for the first time about his allegations that he sexually abused underage girls, Stephen Collins admitted to and apologized for abusing 3 different victims between 1973 and 1994 in a statement that was published in People magazine this week. Quote, I deeply regret the mistakes I made and any pain I caused these 3 women. I admit to, apologize for, and take responsibility for what I did. So that's another one of those shows where it's like, oh, you see, wow. And he was, and it was.
See, that's the continuation sequel we didn't need.
That's why you'll never get it.
Like punchline season finale is just like.
Not to mention he was always like the scummy when he wasn't the dad in Seventh Heaven. Before that he was always like I'm gonna wear glasses and be like the scummy business guy that like puts the orphanage out of business. And then they're like, oh, you turned out to be a jerk.
I don't know. I remember him from. I think he was in Jumping Jack Flash with Whoopi Goldberg.
probably.
dude, I
He was
love
awesome.
that fucking movie,
Yeah,
dude.
he was. I think he was the good guy in that.
Dude,
I
that's a
used to
great
love that
movie.
guy.
That's the one with the computers, right? Where
Yeah.
she's talking to the guy.
She's
with
talking to the
computer.
guy and
I
she's
remember
trying to
being
get
like,
him
"This
over.
is so futuristic."
It's a.
You know, like they're it's like 1987, and they're fucking aiming.
It's a perfect that movie. I mean, all kidding aside, that movie is actually a really really good study on how you write 2 characters that fall in love, and because they never even meet each other. It's all over text. It's just Whoopi Goldberg talking, and he's got what's his name's Jonathan Pryce's voice that they give it to. So well done.
It's the prequel to Firewatch.
It is the prequel to Firewatch. It's
There's
true.
been a lot of
Actually,
a lot of
I think
lines
it
drawn
would be
between them.
No, it would be the prequel. Doesn't Firewatch happen in 88?
89.
89,
so
remember,
yeah,
because he couldn't see Ghostbusters.
Jumping
too.
Jack Flash. was like-
Yeah, I saw Jumping Jack Flash. There was a time like 2002, 2003 when I was like just watching lots of HBO and Showtime and whatever, and it's any movie that was on, I'd watch it. And
oh yeah,
I remember seeing that again for the first time. So I was like, this movie's fucking rad, dude.
it's good. Burglar unfortunately doesn't hold up, but Jumping Jack Flash is still awesome.
I want to go back and watch The Net again. We were talking
We
about that in
talked
the
about
car
that.
the other day. I was like, yeah, fuck, I want to watch The Net again. I haven't seen it because I remember that being the thing of like, this is terrifying. They can do so much with her information.
Yeah, I would with Sandra Bullock's best film.
Yeah.
That and The Blind Side.
Coming
Just
right
up
off
there next to each
speed.
other.
Coming right off speed. She needed to get into another.
She was like, I gotta star with another beautiful co-host. How about Dennis Miller?
Nailed it.
Let's do him as a co-star.
The Blind Side's one of those movies that anytime it's on, you just get hooked to it. You're like,
It's a
great-
"Fuck,
it's a great
man,
movie.
I
I've never
gotta-"
seen it.
He's still playing,
Really?
right?
Yeah.
I could have
he's
sworn
always-
there was a time we were all in a hotel together watching it.
No, that was Terminator Genesis.
That happened as well.
No, we did. There was a time. I don't remember what you're talking. Like, I don't specifically remember, but I do rember sitting there and being like, we were so tired, and The Blind Side was on, and we were just
And
like,
we're like, we have to
have to
watch
watch it.
this. When was that?
I don't know.
Oh, it was a special time.
Sandra Bullock is she's good, man. She's a good actress.
All right.
Speaking of Dennis Miller, by the way, remember when he was on Monday Night Football?
Yeah, the weirdest pick of all time. I'm like, what the fuck? Dennis Miller's
You
gonna be
make
on
fun
my
of
He offended the
football?
shit out of everyone, and then they just threw him away.
See you later, Dennis
He,
Miller.
no, he didn't. He offended half the people and confused the fuck out of the other half with his vocabulary. That was pretty much it.